G'day patrons, just fed the fish and I'm harvesting a couple of greens for tonight's dinner, and I think we're going to be having a Kangkong pesto. This stuff has just taken off, so I'm going to cut it back fairly hard here. I've already attacked the other plant, so I'm going to take things like any runners like this one here, going up the Egyptian spinach, and there's another one over here making a move on the cucumber, so they're pretty much all going to come off. The other thing I'm going to do is just nip out the top of these Egyptian spinach, and also to cut back this Brazilian spinach. So this will be tonight's greenery. I'm also going to get some basil, of course, some sweet basil. Look at this Owen knock, all those new shoots are so green. So that's going to be primarily the greens for tonight's pesto. A couple of bits of basil will go in too, and I might see about cutting into this back corner of mushroom herb as well. I'll just see how many greens I end up with. So a poor little moringa, I'm not too sure if it's going to actually make it or not. If we can get the phone to focus. That little shoot, I did nip off a flower bud that was there, and that little shoot looks like it's trying to hang on. Hopefully all the water I dumped out yesterday has helped purge some of the salt from the system. Yeah, but the other Egyptian spinach, I'll be knocking off these ones down here, just the top shoots, because as you can see they grow pretty long. They're a pretty tall plant, but if you can knock them back like these ones over here, they tend to bush out a little bit more. So I'll see how many greens we end up with, and I might end up pulling some of these off. So there you go. Oh, I've got a couple in the ground here as well, but I think I want to harvest what's in the beds first. So I'll get to it and I'll come back and give you a bit of a look at the harvest. So I ended up topping off some of that Owen knock over there and stole a little bit of that basil, and also trimmed back this bit of Kangkong. Most of the basil though came from around the corner here, just the little plant hidden behind this Owen knock, and I also cleaned out a fair bit of the mushroom herb from there. Over here we took out the Brazilian spinach and I cut that the Kangkong right back off the Egyptian spinach. Also lopped it and another one down the back. And just to give you a bit of a look at this Kangkong, it's got another meal or two's worth on there. Oh, this, by the way, this flea beetle damage, we don't really worry about it. You know, if those leaves there with a bit of brownness on them, they'd pretty much all come off and just go straight into the compost. But bits like this one here, I mean, you shred that up and put it through a pesto or a stir fry and you wouldn't even know. Kira hasn't complained, and I put some pretty munched on ones in salads. Maya hasn't been home, obviously she's moved out, so she's actually coming home tonight. So we'll share some of our pesto with her. She's not feeling well, she's got a sinus infection. So Bianca's taking pity on her. Isn't she a nice mum? Anyway, that's the harvest down there. Owen knock at the back, a nice pile of the Kangkong leaves already stripped off the stem. Bit of basil, nice selection of mushroom herb down there. The Egyptian spinach, and yeah, the Brazilian spinach down there. So I was thinking about popping on some of this, some of this Chinese amaranth. I'll just see how we go. I'll nip down if it doesn't make up enough pesto and grab some of these branches. There's all the bits of vine from the Kangkong. There's a few really manky bits on there that I've just left. So that's tonight's dinner. Just before we go, I thought I'd give you a bit of a sneak peek at what I'm thinking about posting. It might be next week, it might be this weekend, we'll just wait and see. I'm just making up some little self-watering containers just for some seedlings. I popped in some of our KY1 tomatoes in there. They're a couple of years old, so I put a generous sprinkling in. And yeah, hopefully they'll make it to the clip. Just down here, this is Kira's science experiment, a little solar still for water. Works fairly well, she got a tablespoon of water today. Thought I'd give you a bit of a look at how we prepared the pesto using this awesome harvest of greens. To begin with, I washed the leaves in batches. First off was the Egyptian spinach and the Owen knock. Gave them a rinse in a bowl, just so I could save the water, and then ran them through the salad spinner to remove any excess. From there they were tossed into the food processor, and I think I put in around about 4 or 5 cloves of garlic and a bit of a drizzle of olive oil, and just gave them a quick spin. From there I added in the next batch, which I think was a mushroom herb and Brazilian spinach and basil. We gave that a bit of a spin around, and then the final lot was the kangkong. We ended up with so much that I divided half out, and that's in the freezer for another meal. From there, with the remaining, I added in some more garlic just to boost up the flavour, also to a little bit more oil and a handful of cashew nuts, and just gave that a spin around the blender again until it was nice and pasty. From there, it was added into a pan that had fried off some chicken and mushrooms and given a bit of a stir around. I was going to add some white wine, but would run out, so we just added a drizzle of chicken stock just to give it a bit of moisture. Cooked that down for a minute or so, added in the spaghetti and served it up, and as always I popped a couple of Spanish olives over the top of mine. So a very quick and very easy meal, definitely a favourite around here. So I hope you enjoyed that little bit of a look, folks, and I will catch you online. Cheers!